What's the juiciest rumor at your school that turned out to be 100% true? Resource officer was a child molester and then murdered his wife after he was fired. He fled and they still haven't found him over 10 years later. He's on Marshall's top 15 most wanted list. His name was Dan Hires and his mother thinks he's dead. The computer tech teacher got caught having sex with a student. He was put on suspension while the investigation was conducted. He killed himself by running his car into a tree. The science teacher was a pedophile. Some kid found Viagra in his desk and he was put in admin leave when they found a used condom in his trash after the search. Then kids came forward. Was not pretty. Two teachers that were married to each other were sleeping with students. The husband was the first to do it and the wife found out and slept with some of her students as revenge. Also, the resource officer was sleeping with some of the 18-year-old seniors. All got confirmed when they were fired for it. Well, the teachers got fired. The officer got moved to bicycle patrol. This one girl would make those colorful friendship bracelets made out of needlepoint floss for every guy she gave a BJ to. There were lots of bracelets. Edit. I sure ducking hope Emily doesn't have Reddit. Edit 2. Just because Emily gave mad BJs doesn't mean I will. Get ya bracelets elsewhere. The art teacher was sleeping with both the history teacher and reteacher. She was married to the chemistry teacher who she'd previously had an affair with while married to the woodwork teacher. I believe she married the reteacher sometime after I left school. Edit. A few people have asked what RE is. Religious education, which state schools in the UK used to have to teach. Taught by an atheist, which was refreshing. Rumor had it that a teacher was having sex with some of his students that wanted higher grades. No one believed it to be true because he was married and just had his third baby. 100% true and all the students were proud of it. He's still in jail 5 years later. Students were proud of it. I ducked a teacher for my B+. An abortion using a coat hanger where a student bled to death. It happened years before I attended the school and was the basis of the ghost sightings near the bathroom. That there is an underground bunker from the Cold War era below the school. Not only is it there, but it turns out you can access it from the pet changing room through a secret trapdoor. Edit. It's in Krakow, Poland, because so many of you were curious. And it looks like there's actually lots of schools that have one. Edit 2. Also, it is confirmed to be a bunker, but it was built before the school existed and was most likely emptied by previous owners of the building. Some kid in my year/grade found nude pictures of his art teacher, female, on a school camera when he went to take pictures of his painting. Didn't have a clue what to do about it, so just started telling people and no one believed him. Couple days later he's pulled out of class and had to see the school headmaster about it. They found the camera and the photos and somehow the teacher was unaware whatsoever. Thing is, the teacher didn't get any reprimands, but the kid got excluded a couple of days for spreading true rumors about the teacher. In middle school, a rumor floated around pretty much most of the school that the principal had a consistent record of sexual assault. And why ducking? No. He got arrested for sexual assault when I was a freshman in high school. It was all over the news and everything. A younger male teacher, upper 20s, no lie what, was having sex in his classroom during lunch with an older female teacher, married in her mid-40s. A student caught them and filmed them. Pretty much blackmailed them into turning themselves in. We had a Spanish teacher who would keep giving random financial/business advice during classes. One day he tabbed over to his stock trading homepage and accidentally revealed that he was a millionaire. Rumors about his past started circulating. Around graduation some students found old newspaper articles confirming that he was a former meth dealer who had spent time in jail. Was a seriously cool guy, actually. Two sports teachers were having an affair with each other, even though one of their spouses was also a sports teacher in the same school using the same dinky office. Rumor was confirmed when the two dudes had a fist fight in the basketball court. That the school district security guard would let you get away with anything if you gave him some coke. He later got caught and fired for it. If anyone else went there, it was at Desert View HS in Tucson. Edit. I was talking about Kaya Kane, not the soda, for those who didn't realize that. And on a serious note, it's all about the drive. P and duck the rest. Spanish teacher was a former male pun star. La puta rest en la biblioteca. The wood tech teacher was married to the French teacher. They had a child. The PE teacher ducked the French teacher. The wood tech teacher went into the PE department and threatened to beat the shit out of the PE teacher with a cricket bat. I believe this was during a normal school day, but it was before my year started there. A second PE teacher got involved and stopped it, so everyone kept their jobs. Later on, the wood tech teacher married the geography teacher, and they had 2 kids, whilst a third PE teacher cheated on her husband with the second PE teacher, and every Wednesday an hour before lunch I would see PE teachers 2 and 3 through the window of my science classroom. They would get in a car and leave together. Sometimes I would see them come back and sometimes I wouldn't. I jokingly pointed it out to people before anyone else caught on, and later they became a couple that was known to students. TL. Doctor. 6 teachers. 3 pregnancies. 2 affairs. 1 angry husband with a cricket bat. Teacher from my high school. Girls were creeped out by him and constantly reported him for making them uncomfortable. He was quite obese, belly hung to knees, so the school and other students wrongly assumed these girls were being rude. 6 years later he's in prison after being caught with child porn on his computer, alongside upskirt photos of girls from my school. That there was a girl in the boys' bathroom giving BJs for $10. There really was, and she got expelled. A girl blew the whole basketball team after a game. Don't know the exact details. I just know the girl left and 3 kids got expelled. Edit. I'm not naming the high school for privacy reasons. The reason they got expelled was because it was a Catholic school and they did it in the locker room. The rumor was that a boys' gym teacher and a senior girl in my class were involved. They got married when we graduated. He was at least 10 years older than she was. My 6th grade math teacher was super creepy. He would as in seats randomly but always placed the girls in the front of the classroom. Did the whole lingering stare thing. And was always trying to get people to hang out with him during lunch. I never did. But he was married and has a baby, so no one really suspected him of anything other than being creepy. Fast forward about 7 years. The teacher ended up being a sex offender. He had an ongoing relationship with a girl that began when she was 13. Based on what I could see from the various news articles, she was either in my year or the year before me. The police came to arrest him in the middle of his class, cuffed him in front of his students, and then had him walk throughout campus in cuffs to get to their car. I don't feel bad for him at all, but I can't imagine how his wife and son must feel. Edit. For everyone asking, this was in the Bay Area, California. Probably not the juiciest thing, but the one I remember because of how I found out. A few of our high school libraries' walls were weird, sort of a lowercase b shape, so there was this empty space behind the bookshelves up against the walls. Tunnels. Basically. Word was, students were ducking in there. I worked in the library, had to move the shelves, clean the tunnels, found used condoms. It was an all-boys school at the time, if that matters. Mind, the condoms weren't the worst thing. Really. The leftover food debris, and there was worse stuff like chicken bones. Edit. Couple years later, I was talking with an ex-schoolmate. Another guy from our graduating class comes in. I hate that guy. My friend says, he's ducking gay. Dude, you're gay. There's gay. And there's so ducking gay other gay people think you're too ducking gay. Turns out that gent had been one of the entrepreneurial fellows selling services. For a few dollars ago. I wasn't shocked, since I already had some idea, but I was surprised that the going rate had been so cheap. Also, some kid said he was going to kill himself a bunch of times over getting worse grades than his little brother, and finally one day, he jumped in front of a train on the tracks right behind the school. I heard some details of what kid saw, and it was about as horrifying as you'd think. The cheerleading team was doing coke off the toilet seats. Edit. For everyone saying the tank would be better. Maybe my high school was unusual, but we had the same high power flush toilets like other public bathrooms. They had no tanks. Just the base of the toilet and the seat. Our bathrooms had no doors to the entrance. Probably as a deterrent to this behavior. So the counters were a no-go. The toilet paper dispensers were those large circular ones. Believe me, I agree with those of you saying it's gross and idiotic. But there weren't that many alternatives in the bathroom. We weren't allowed to have bags or backpacks with us, so no one carried a purse. And they did it in the middle of class, so bringing a textbook would be suspect. Also, the main offenders were too young to drive, so they didn't have keys necessarily. And this was pre-smartphone, and before the average high school student even had a cell phone. Edit 2. Real glad the cheerleaders' collective idiocy lead to my highest rated comment. A chemistry teacher was running a meth lab in his classroom. I shit you not, happened right before Breaking Bad first aired. Happened my freshman year. Link to news story link. foxnews.com/story/2007/12/04/teacher accused using high school as personal meth lab. HTML. There was a rumor that our female English teacher was sleeping with the starting QB, and that her youngest child was not her husband's, but the QB's. She was caught sleeping with a different one of her students years later, and it is now known she has slept with a number of former students including the QB. Now people really think her youngest kid isn't her husband's. Edit. QB equals QUARTERBACK. Sorry to my non-Americans on the thread. This is by far the most attention that a post of mine has received, and I love that it turned into a Blue Mountain State thread. Go Goats. When I was in middle school, the big joke rumor was that two teachers were banging. Years later, everyone finds out that not only were they having an affair outside of their respective marriages, but that the male teacher was cheating on both women with a man. The female teacher moved away and ended her own life. The entire situation was unbelievably messy. I'm always amazed at people who have the energy and time to cheat. Like, how did he stay organized enough to fit in a wife, a mistress, and a gay lover while working full time? It just sounds exhausting. He also had a kid. He used to show us pictures of his son and his dog instead of, teaching us geometry. I assume he was using his lesson planning time for his wild debauchery. The male principal got caught ducking the male history teacher in his office. Both were married. Edit. Principal. Sorry. Their husbands must have been furious. Some kids made semen frosted brownies and gave them to another kid and he ate them. The physics teacher was sexting and sleeping with one of his students. Not sure if she was 18 or not at the time. Although honestly, no one was surprised. He was a little too friendly toward the girls and changed his pants in the back of the classroom once. He ended up leaving for personal reasons over Thanksgiving break. But of course it got out. Sadly, his wife was in her third trimester, which probably didn't make it any easier for her to find out her husband was sleeping with a high school student. Like this video and this good boy will be your mailman forever. We are Redditation, and we redditate every day. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a wonderful day, you magnificent people.